All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Got a bunch of people in here. Let me give them a quick rundown. Kind of move my camera over here a little bit. Hopefully, that'll be a little more inviting. Got Big Al here. He's going to try to stay awake and said, such good content. Going to try to stay awake for this. It's such a good channel, and I've learned a ton from the content. Thank you so much, Big Al. I really appreciate you, and I hope you are doing well, sir. Got Dennis Buckner in the house. Got Pistol Pete, CZ Shadow 2, and Trad Bow Time with Uncle Dan. How are you doing, Mr. Uncle Dan? Let's see here. Casey Dolph, Dirt Track 410, ND Irish, M. Gabriel, the Gun Snob. How are y'all doing this evening? Hello, Josh. Thank you so much, man. Josh is a good buddy, too. Maikai, MZ. Boy, we got a bunch of people in here. That's awesome. Thank you, Gemini. I appreciate it. Richard Ship. But got all the good people in the house, and I do want to say cheers to all of y'all. We've got a little what is this, Bib and Tucker? So decided to get the high dollar stuff. Or I mean, I already had it, but I decided to crack that open and drink some of that. So cheers, everyone. But yes, Brian, I'm glad to have you here. And honestly, I don't just joke around about that. You know, a lot of y'all have been die hard. I mean, subscribers, tune into the chats all the time. I mean, I consider y'all friends and family. I mean, hell, if we were on all the same cell phone, we could be on the friends and family plan. But man, y'all have been diehards, and I really appreciate it. A lot of people have tons of subscribers, but they're not. They just come and go, or they're just there. They don't really. I'm not disrespecting any subscribers, of course, but some, really don't participate in a lot of things. But y'all are all here. So got Milkman. My birthday was actually really good. I did have my birthday on Monday. So my family got me, or had me made, a camouflaged cake. And it's actually from Stein's Bakery. It's a really world famous bakery in downtown Dallas, or Dallas. Been in business forever. Their cakes are amazing. So it's called Stein's. And they asked for a camouflaged one. That's the first one they've ever made. And the lady was like, "Yeah, we could do that." So they did it, and I thought that was awesome. And then my wife made me a homemade carrot cake, which I love carrot cake. So man, we've got cake coming out of the wazoo. And so far, I've only had, like, since my birthday, I think I've had one piece of each. I'm just like, I don't need a bunch of cake. I don't need to get bigger. But yeah, we've got some fun stuff back there. Thank you, Big Al. I appreciate it. Hey, Ryan, I appreciate you. Ryan's got the Ryan is a new subscriber, man. I appreciate it so much, Ryan. Yes, Pistol Pete's been here forever. I mean, CZ Shadow 2, and of course Uncle Dan. I've known Uncle Dan for, gosh, what, like, how long have I known you, Uncle Dan? Like 5 or 6 years, something like that. But yeah, I've had some long time family members on here, and I really do appreciate it. Tradbo said I look good for 75. Whew, man, sometimes I feel like I'm 75. Yes, Pistol Pete, that is true. Yeah, we're going to get into it in a minute. I just really want to thank y'all so much. I mean, I'm like 2 subscribers away, but I know I'm going to hit it. So, must not have been effective camouflage. Yeah, that's true. Some people were like, I can't see the cake. And I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, I guess Tradbo, 6 years. Yeah. So we've been friends, and hell, Uncle Dan, y'all don't know this, but Uncle Dan and I talk like shit, sometimes twice a day, at least once or twice a week. Even when I was traveling, I'd call him when I was on those long drives and everything. But I did want to also thank, of course, all the family members, but also wanted to thank, like, my partners, the companies that I work with, Lock Grips, Harry's Holsters, Lynx Defense, back there on that bad boy. You can see it hanging on the door. and of course on the tripod is one of my Lynx Defense. That is a Bronx bag. I've got probably, and some were given to me, and some I actually bought with my own money. Didn't get a discount or anything. I just bought them because I like them so much. But I've got probably about 6 Lynx Defense bags. They're all made in the USA. 100%. They are expensive, but it's all hand sewn or done here. They use the correct zippers, the KKY zippers, the real ones. Um, double stitching. I mean, these things are legit. Real Cordura, not the shit Cordura. I've got pistol bags, I've got rifle bags, got big rifle bags. I mean, I use a bunch of Lynx Defense. So also want to thank Tandem Cross and Primary Arms. I work with them a lot. And I've been testing something, and nobody knows about this, but I want to talk about it on the chat tonight, and I'll get to any questions. Extra carry. I always want a different way to carry a mag, and Extra Carry reached out to me. It's a small one-person shop. A gentleman said, "Hey, can I send you some of these just so you can try them?" So I said, "Sure." So sent them to me, and I have been testing them for now about a month and a half. They are like a really high-end 3D printed mag carrier, but there's something different about these. And it's extracarry.com, EXTRA carry.com. Something a little different about these. So they basically go in your pocket, and I'm just going to kind of show you this example. They go in your pocket. So here you'll just see it. It kind of looks like a knife, clip. But the way that you put it on is you tilt this out of the way, and you can see this little ledge, this real sharp ledge. So you put it in your pants pocket, and then you just lock it down. You can pull, and then it's kind of like a little basket. That's basically what it is. And it holds your mag. And as long as you're not wearing like some skinny jeans, wearing basic jeans, shorts, whatever, I just keep it in my left pocket, and it kind of hangs like this. You just reach in, and of course I have bullets towards me, but because I've got it backwards. But I have bullets towards me, but you can actually just pop it out with your left hand and pop it right in. So I've got this one, and this one is for a 17 round mag for my Staccato, and I do have the 17 round mag in it. I've got it for my CZ P10C. I also have it for the Staccato 20 round mag. The 20 rounder is kind of long, so if you're a taller person, probably not going to have any problems with it. But I do carry this a lot when I carry my C2. And then, of course, like if you've got any other 2011, it doesn't have to be a Staccato. Any 2011 mag will fit in here, but it doesn't rattle in your pocket. He builds these so they're actually like they fit the mag. Like, for example, this is the Staccato mag. So if I put the mag holder, so if I put the CZ mag in here, see, you get a little bit of wiggle. With the Staccato mag in the correct holder, you get no wiggle. But these things are pretty legit. I mean, see, it allows to flex. So when you sit in your truck, whatever, it doesn't pop out of this basket. It just kind of sits in a basket like this, trying to show you. But I'm actually very impressed with these. So, and I don't have like a discount code or anything yet. Matter of fact, he doesn't even know I'm doing this. He just said, "Hey, if you want to do a video or whatever," but I just wanted to let y'all know, if you look in the community tab, you'll see like kind of an EDC thing that I had set up. And that's when I started testing this. But so far, I'm actually very impressed with it. Now, it will take up pocket space, so just be aware. Another thing, you'll know that I wear jeans and boots like all the time. So I did try it on a boot, one of my thinner boots where I've got the holes, you can pull up your boots with the holes. And I stuck this through a hole and snapped it in there, and it works in your boot. I put the 20 rounder in there, but in order to get to it, you've got to like go down, pull up your jeans, grab it out of the boot. So that'd be like a last ditch effort. So if you're interested, it's extracarry.com. So, go over and show them some love. If you need something like this, But so far, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. And you don't have to wrap anything. You don't have to do anything like that. It just sits there. And I walked all through Shields. I walked all through everywhere. It doesn't rattle. It doesn't jingle jangle. It doesn't do any of that. And the neat thing is of course, I don't have pocket change, but nothing's going to get in here because it just kind of only holds the mag. Let me make sure I didn't miss somebody. Yeah, and I've known Josh for a ton of time too. Yep, Josh and I had beers and tacos and then shot that next day. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah. Let's see here. Thanks, A-Dubs. I appreciate it, man. Lakes Ozark guy has a Lynx bag. Yeah, and actually, I used to have a discount code. Now it's actually a discount code, but it's a link. So I have to assign it a link, and if y'all want, I can post it. I can actually post the link. If y'all want to go over and get a bag, it'll save you like 5% off. Hello, Bagger Bro. How are you, man? Hello, Vanessa Kitty. He say, I use the Neomag. Just so y'all know, and y'all probably, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I use the Neomag. I tried it. I bought it. I tried it. I tried it with multiple mags. And every time I would sit down in the truck, it would pop off the magnet and it would fall to the bottom of my pocket. With Glock mags, metal mags, SIG mags, you name it, it just didn't work for me. And it could have been a body proportion, where I tilt. I mean, it could have been all kinds of different things. It just did not work for me. So I actually returned it. And they said, oh, well, we're going to put a stronger magnet. We're going to do this. And I don't know if they ever did, but I guarantee you, these Staccato mags, they're not light. So it probably might even be a little worse for the Neomag for that. Hello, Chris from the 740. How are you doing, man? Yeah, I've used, and I've got a couple of those where it screws down. However, a lot of people don't make them for 2011s. But I know a company very well that could be making some. So stay tuned. Yeah, and Big Al's been with me for more than 5 years. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, no lie. My wife actually went to the grocery store today, and we do have some kind of ice, and it's slushy, but it's starting to freeze again. So we've had some crappy weather here. The store didn't even have any eggs, and it's a big store. Did not have any eggs. So we all know what the hell's going on. It's like toilet paper. Everybody's buying eggs and hoarding them, I'm sure. Yeah, I was gonna say Uncle Dan and I could maybe hunt down some meat and give it to everybody. Yeah, 3D side effect. Yeah, it kind of does. Matter of fact, what's really crazy is my one Lynx bag that I had him custom make for me with the orange thread. It actually, when I pull that bag out and put it in this light, it actually glows. I mean, it black lights that orange thread. It's pretty badass. But the rifle back there is one of my favorites. I built that rifle. 100% built the lower, built the upper. It has a Faxon pencil race barrel in it. It has a Lantec comp on it. It's a fast comp. It's got a B5 stock on it. It's got a mag pull K2 grip. It's got a mag well on it. It has an American Defense 1.93 height scope mount on it. It does have a Razor HD 1:6 on it. That thing is super fast, super fun. That's kind of my go fast gun. I don't really run a suppressor on that one. Um, I could. I've got extra attachments, but that's just really kind of my go fast gun. When I really want to burn it down, it's got a CMG trigger in it. It's a 3.5 pound flat face. Really love it. And I spray painted it. Y'all probably can't see it. I've shown pictures of it before, but I actually spray painted that one. I'm not afraid to paint my guns. I spray painted that one, and it's kind of it's got like some diamond tread on it. It's pretty badass looking, but it's got khaki, olive drab, and like darker brown kind of speckles all over it, or lines. It's pretty tricked out. It looks like snakeskin if you see it up close. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, with that gun, with that rifle, you can just shower down on it. It is super fast. Let's see here. Oh, and also I've had some people say, "Wow, you've been on YouTube for like 5 or 6 years and you only have 20,000 subscribers." Yeah, I mean, I don't edit, I don't do a bunch of tricked out stuff like a lot of people do. Um, I just kind of keep it simple, show the good, the bad. Um, I don't, I just kind of want to take y'all along for the journey. Um, I probably, if I was worried about subscribers, I probably could grow the subscriber count. I appreciate it when anyone subscribes. Um, but it is what it is. So I just appreciate y'all long timers being here. Yeah, eggs are perishable. I don't know. I don't get it. But they're from supposedly there's people grabbing them at the store like they were doing toilet paper. So I don't know what the hell. Yep. Just so you know, Brian, I get it, man. I had my largest grocery bill of my adult life yesterday. It's to the point. I buy one of something, one is a spare, not sure to take more. I get it. Yeah, tonight she spent $500. Actually, I take that back. It was right at $500. There was meat and stuff in there, but yeah, it was $500. So not fun. But let's see here. Oh, and I had a question for y'all. These are some things I thought about. I have a book. I write down stuff, and then I come back to it and all that. But I was just wondering if anybody had ever thought of this. Say you're driving, you've got your EDC at the 12 o'clock position, appendix carry. And of course, I wear my seatbelt correctly so I can still access it. I put the belt around the lower part and pull the shirt up. So if something were to happen, carjacking, I can access it quickly. And, so I don't put the seatbelt over it so it pinches me. However, have you ever thought about it? If you're driving, something were to happen, you were to get in an accident. Say the airbag deployed. Say it was a bad enough accident that it knocked you out. So you're knocked out. Ambulance gets there, picks you up, puts you on a gurney, throws you in the ambulance. Now, if you had outside waistband, they would say, "Hey, this guy has a gun." However, remember, I carry appendix only, unless I'm out in the woods. Can you imagine if they had to cut the shirt or cut the pants or whatever and be like, "Whoa, we've got a loaded gun here," or "We've got a gun here"? I just wondered if anybody ever thought about that. I've thought about that kind of stuff, and I've been like, hey, what would you do? And for me, it's just a fact that's what would happen. So somebody would find it like that. But didn't know if y'all ever thought about anything like that, or if it's ever like, clicked off in your brain, like, wow, that is a possibility. It is what it is, but you never know. Hey, Brian Gross, I appreciate it, man. Good evening, everyone. I'll sit back and enjoy the show. Congrats on 20,000 subs. Thank you so much. Richard Chip says, I appreciate the raw videos, honest reviews. That's what I do. I show the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't hide anything. Yeah, and I've seen it on some videos where people are shooting and then it's like all of a sudden it clicks and then it goes to the, to and I'm not saying people all do this all the time, but I've seen where you could definitely tell there was an edit snippet and all of a sudden they go to the target and they're like perfect little groups. I'm just like, okay, hey, whatever it is. But I don't do that. David is saying, hey, Big J and chat, I am torn between a Ruger American Hunter or a Savage 110 Magpul Hunter. Thoughts? I really do, and I own Savages, and I've shot Rugers before. I really do like the Savage AccuTrigger because you can adjust it. I mean, mine is pulling my 22 AccuTrigger is pulling at like 1.2 pounds. I've adjusted it down as low as it will go. I really do like that trigger. It's kind of like a two-stage because when you hit the center, kind of like a Glock safety, it's kind of like a blade safety in the center. When you hit that and then pull, it's kind of like a two-stage type trigger. I really prefer one-stage triggers. But, I mean, I haven't had problems with either one of them. But I do kind of like what Savage is doing now. But it's really, I mean, for those two, it's kind of a toss-up. It's which one you prefer, honestly. Let's see, best all-around gun to defend your home. And probably meant to say is a 9mm PCC loaded with defense ammo. And that could be, depending on, your length of home, the area that you're trying to cover, if you've got kids in other rooms. I mean, there's all kinds of variables there. But I always say defend your home with what you prefer. If it is a PCC, if it is a 12 gauge, if it is a 9mm pistol, AR, whatever you prefer. I don't think there's a wrong or a right because there's so many different things you can choose. I do like 300 Blackout personally also, but that's just I've got three choices. You have a 12 gauge ready, a 300 Blackout, and also of course, pistol. Uncle Dan says they cut open my pants. The gun won't be the most shocking part. Yeah. I mean, this was, gosh, it was probably 25 years ago. I had a hopped up car. No, I take that back. It was 35 or 34 years ago. I wasn't married yet. I was dating my wife. And I had a little hopped up race car and took off down a strip or a road and lost it in some pea gravel, went through a bar ditch, jumped the bar ditch, cleared a barbed wire fence, flipped it twice in the air, supposedly. This is what I heard. Landed on the kind of the side and the wheels. Destroyed the car. A lady stopped in a Suburban, picked us up, took us to hospital. The rearview mirror went through the top of my head, ripped my head open like a can opener. Blood was everywhere. And, that happened at that time. So you just never know. Yes, Brian, I did see that. The AR lever gun. That was pretty cool. I have absolutely no need to have my gun on me while driving is what I'm sure it meant. It just sits in a glove box, but I don't really go anywhere. I'd say if you worry about carjacking, might be better to have a magnet mount. Magnet mounts, I have tested one. Matter of fact, I've told y'all in the past, I've tested things, and if it doesn't even meet the criteria, I won't mess with it. And I tested one of the big magnet mounts, and it was a piece of shit. And the way I tested it is that the gun was unloaded. I had it stuck there. and I slammed on the brakes, got going about 50 miles an hour and literally slammed on the brakes. And that gun just went whoop right into the floorboard. And this was one of the big magnets. I said, no, I don't need to get hit in the head with my own gun. So I do carry a gun on me, on my person. Yeah, if y'all remember, I had an incident in Houston, and it was a potential carjacking under an underpass. So I've told that story. I'm not going to get into it, but bad crap can happen. So I'm maybe not in New York, but I was in Houston at that particular time, and it could have been pretty bad. When the gun came up, they jumped in the car and they took off. Matter of fact, I chased them down. Anyway, we won't, don't know who's listening. Hello, AR Gun 1776. How are you doing? ES 226. Have you shot the Phoenix Redback comparable to Atlas? I have not, David. MD Polo is a friend of mine. He does have a YouTube channel. He has, I think, 2 or 3 Phoenix. The difference between those is the Phoenix Redback. Now, of course, I know they have the single action now. Most of the original ones were double action, single action. They're phenomenal guns. They bought out Sphinx, if you're familiar with Sphinx, and I've owned Sphinx. They're great guns. Nothing wrong with a Redback. It just depends on if you want more of a single action CZ type gun or you want a 2011. They are 2 different animals. So as far as mags, etc. So it really depends on what you want. But yes, the Phoenix Redbacks are, from the quality, and they are better than Sphinx, and Sphinx were legit. I've got videos on the Sphinx. Hell, Bald & Curious has had a Sphinx too. Hello, Arcs Guns. How are you? Just so y'all know, Arcs and I have been trying to hook up this week, but we've been having shitty weather here with ice and shit. We were going to go shoot Wednesday at Texas Gun Experience. They even closed the gun range because of the weather that we're having. And they closed it. It's been closed like pretty much most of this week. I think it's even going to be closed tomorrow, but we have been trying to hook up to do the 2 guys, 1 gun. If y'all can check, back post on that, what we're going to do. But, we've been trying to get that set up, but this week has just not worked out. DC says, I keep getting my post blocked on Facebook about the weapon. When are we going to hold these people accountable? And there's athletes, not just here. There's athletes in other countries that are, if you follow the world news, it's not good. That's the sad thing, they say you can't sue them, etc. So, Rich B says, was at the range today with a buddy. I was shooting my Staccato P and he was shooting a CZ Shadow 2. We traded and I really liked the Shadow 2, but never owned or even held one before today. Shadow 2 is a great gun. I have done videos where I compared my Staccato P and my C2 to the Shadow 2. Now, of course, you're dealing with double action, single action, unless you've gotten the Shadow 2 single action versus 2011. This is just me, I love Shadow 2s. I own 2 of them. I did own 3 of them. Sold one not too long ago. But I love the Shadow 2, but and just so y'all know this, the Shadow 2 does not have a drop safety. Don't know if a lot of people know that. You can carry the Shadow 2, it just doesn't have a drop safety. But I still, out of those 2, y'all know how much I love the Shadow 2. Out of those 2 guns, the Staccato is still more usable in different roles, where the Shadow 2 is not. But I absolutely love both of the guns. So you can't go wrong with either one. It just depends on what you're going to be using it for. Brian is saying, one thing I really want to do is fire my 300 Blackout inside my home just to hear how loud. It's suppressed but loaded with supers. Just curious how loud it is. I have videos where I'm shooting 300 suppressed supers and subs. You can go, they're even in shorts, but I've got the long videos out. And it's inside of a gun range, so that's going to give you a good idea. but I was shooting 124 grain supers and then 200 grain subs. With the subs, of course, I mean, that's how loud it is. Even at an indoor range, outdoor, it's just insane. Supers are not that bad, but you'll still get the crack. So just be aware of that. It's not as bad as a 5.56. I will tell you that. 5.56 is horrible. Yeah, I've never had a Facebook account ever in my whole entire life. I have never had one. I did have a Twitter set up. I think it's still there, but I don't even use it. I haven't even looked at it in probably 5 years. I might go for the Ruger. It has something similar with the Savage 110, but the Ruger has a muzzle brake. Are both of them threaded, David? Because I'm just going to tell you, there's way better muzzle brakes than factory muzzle brakes. Precision Armament, I change out a lot of my muzzle brakes to them or the Lantac Dragon. So, and I love 308. Y'all know that. The FN does have the higher capacity now, which is cool. It just depends on what you're looking for. I think the FN would probably be more carryable. The SIG's pretty damn big, but I carry big guns too, so it doesn't matter. I just say whatever you're wanting. Let me catch back up here real quick. Ryan is asking me Atlas, Airbus Nighthawk TRS Comp, Staccato XC, MPA DS9 Hybrid. Can you rank them from 1 to 4? I have only shot the Atlas Athena. I've got videos on it where I compare it to a Staccato XC. They're very, very comparable. I would say the grip on the Atlas is better because it does have the newer upgrade where you can change the palm swells and things like that. I have not shot personally a Nighthawk TRS Comp. I mean, they look sweet as hell. I would not be opposed to having one at all. The Staccato XC is a great gun. I would say between the Staccato XC and the Atlas Athena, because that's the one I've shot, for the price, the Staccato XC is hard to beat. However, y'all know that I have the Staccato P with the Threat Cadre Comp. I have shot my Staccato P all alloy with the comp compared to a Staccato XC with a comp. I can't tell a bit of difference between the two. And the XC is heavier, and it does have an integrated comp. Mine is the screw-on comp from Threat Cadre. They shoot exactly the same, and I'm saving $1,000. So the MPA DS9 Hybrid is butter. I love that gun. Does not have a comp, but it's heavier. So naturally, there's less recoil, less felt recoil. DS9 Hybrid is hard to beat. It's a great, great pistol. So it just depends on what you're looking for. I have carried I've carried all my Staccatos. I have actually carried the DS9 Hybrid, the big one. People said, "What? You carried it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I carried it." It's a big boy. It's heavy, but in the right holster with the right gun belt, you can carry anything. It just depends on what you want. And ranking them 1 to 4, man, that's a tough one because I have not shot the Nighthawk TSR Comp or TRS Comp. The Staccato XC for the money is hard to beat. However, the MPA DS9 is cheaper than the Staccato XC. And it's a fabulous gun. They all will shoot the exact same mags, so you don't have to worry about that either. Hello, Russ Dennis. How are you, sir? I appreciate it. Yes, Pistol Pete, that is what we're doing. We're celebrating the 20,000 subscribers. Did I hit 20,000? I think I was at like 98 before. Let's see if we officially hit it. Yep, we officially hit it. It does say 20,000 subscribers. So we officially hit it. That's awesome. Thank y'all so much. The louder, the better. Big J, we have to look into Rumble soon. I've gotten the comment a couple of times now. Yes, I have been checking into it. And that's what I even talked about last week on the chat. That's the thing. If like, even if you're Google searching like you did Big Johnson Guns and Gear, it would come up on YouTube if I was still there. However, Google is not going to take you to Rumble. You would have to put Big Johnson Guns and Gear Rumble. Then it would take you to Rumble. So, they're doing that on purpose. It just doesn't get any traction. I'm also on Odyssey. I don't know if y'all know that. I've been on Odyssey for over a year and a half. Been on there for a year and a half. I have like 97 subscribers. So, and all of my videos from YouTube just automatically transfer over to Odyssey. So if something happens, you can find me on Odyssey right now, but I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do Rumble or Utreon, Utreon. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I don't know. But like I said, I think that, Odyssey, I've got that for now. But, I might go to Rumble also just to have a backup. Hello, Mook. How are you? Mook is saying CS or C2 for a first-time staccato buyer for EDC. Okay, just so you know, they both carry the exact same rounds. I know ES said C2 more rounds. Now, you can, of course, put the longer sticks in them because it is patterned for a regular 2011 mag. The C2 is. The CS is not. It has its own proprietary mag. I've heard they're going to come with longer, also have eventually extended type mags for them, but not officially yet. Here's what I will say. They both shoot great. I enjoy both of them. However, I have XXL hands. I prefer the C2 more than the CS because on the left hand, when I put the grip on there and crunch down, and I show it in my video, I've got detailed videos where I compare my C2 to the CS. The C2 has more real estate on the grip for me and my hands. I do prefer it for me. I prefer the C2. Not saying there's anything wrong with the CS. Also, I do like the velocity of mine. It's not much more, but it's a little bit more. However, I've got the threaded barrel on my C2 with a comp. You can't run a comp on a CS yet. Supposedly they're coming with a threaded barrel, but you can't run a comp on it yet. So, as of right now, per my opinion, I prefer the C2. But I've shot the CS. I shot it a lot. I put several hundred rounds through that gun, and I like it. It's not bad at all. Many, many people will like it. But if you have large hands, I might recommend the C2. Hope that helps. Thank you, Richard. Tradbo's going to unsub. Floridian, how are you, man? What do I think about the IWI 941 Jericho 9mm? I actually really like it. I've never owned one, but I've shot an older model, the newer model, even one with a trigger job. I actually like it. It's a great gun. Does take CZ 75 mags, I believe. I shot a buddy of mine's. I had it for like a week and a half, and I shot it quite a bit. Didn't mind it at all. It's a great pistol. A little heavy, so if weight is an issue, you might not want it. But the trigger, the factory trigger, could be a lot better. And the one with the trigger job was really nice. However, you can buy them for very reasonable prices. So it's a great gun at the price. And IWI builds bulletproof guns. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. However, I still would probably spend a little more money and get a CZ because there's so many more upgrades that you could do to it through Cajun Gunworks, CZ Custom, etc. However, if you're stuck on the IWI Jericho, great gun. Yes, I've been seeing the Rumble TV advertisement. Yeah, if you're going to do any kind of porting or chunk port or anything like that, I would definitely recommend the C2 over the CS because of the barrel length. No problem, Mook. Oh, I'm glad it helped, and I hope it did. Yeah, ES, I will say this, and I've proved it in many, many, many videos, even on 22s. If you can get it just a tad bit flatter, y'all have seen it. I've shot tons of guns with no comps. But if you could get it a tad bit flatter under super fast shooting, I don't shoot super slow. I'm not a bullseye shooter. I don't do like 1 and 2 and seconds between shots. I'll let them rip. And when I do, you will see a difference when you're shooting super fast with a comp versus without a comp. So if you could get any little kind of advantage, why not do it? I'm not saying it's a must. I'm just saying I can get them flatter. I've even got my CZ P07 video, and you can watch it. It's a short. That thing is on rails, and it's a comp. So, and I've shot the P07 regular one because I've got 2 P07s and 2 P09s. One P07's comped, one P09's comped, and I've compared those two, and the comp does work. Yeah, CZ with a thumb gas pedal. Yep. Yeah, the only reason I say CZ75 is just because there's so many available upgrades. There's just nothing for Jerichos. There's just not. Matter of fact, the guy who did the trigger job on it had a custom gunsmith do it, and he had to polish all the factory internals to make it a lot lighter and a lot smoother. Thanks, David. I appreciate you, buddy. What's up, Rabbi? How are you? Sorry, Big J, these are dangerous times. If we don't stand up, we are screwed. They need to be held accountable. Yes, I agree with all of that. And I'm hoping these lawsuits will take care of this. If they don't, like I've said numerous times, we are all grown men and women, and you got to figure out what you're going to do. You are going to do. So, hello, Clyde. How are you, man? Let's see if I had anything else. But again, I just really want to thank y'all. Cheers, everyone. All the family members for the 20,000 subscribers, and I agree with you. At 27 or 20,000. Nope, now it's 20,001. So we're moving on up there. But what's weird is that fluctuates up and down. And honestly, I'm not really the type to look at how many subscribers daily or any of that I have. I just figured when they come, they're going to come. And if they go, they go. But like I said, I noticed that I was like 2 or 3 away. And I was like, oh, wow. Just happened to look at it today. But yeah, and also I thought about, I've been thinking about this. And if y'all want to help, you can. And if you come up with the name that I choose, I've got a bunch of names I've written down to a new channel that I'm going to come up with on YouTube that I'm thinking about. Got a whole list of names. You probably can't see it because white paper. I've got a whole page of names for a second channel. And I'll give you what I want to do on the second channel. Once I get a job locked in, I've had some really good interviews. They're supposed to let me know something this week. So hopefully one of those will kick off. And both of these would be traveling. So I'd be doing similar to what I was doing before. I thought about doing like some car videos. The next channel or the secondary channel would have nothing to do with guns. Now, of course, y'all know that I would be carrying, but I wouldn't even talk about guns. It would be family friendly. Another reason I haven't grown is because way back, way back, I put all of my videos were non-kid friendly. So I know that I've been shadow banned and all that crap by YouTube, and that hinders your growth. Also, if you look at where my videos were, 200, 300,000 plus views, now they're 300 or 400 views, has been for, gosh, over a year, unless one video just pops off. But, you know, I'm not trying to seek, like, get to buy the next gun and get the next video. That's not what I'm about. Y'all know that by now. But the other channel would not be anything about guns. It would be maybe going to a new state, trying out some badass restaurants. Y'all know I love to cook and things like that. Trying out some cool restaurants, some crazy foods, checking out some badass cars. I have a whole book and a whole relationship with car companies and car builders, engine builders, performance builders, antique cars. Uh, I still know the people that have bought my cars. They do live in a different state, but could go visit my old cars. I had some NHRA cars that I used to run, quarter mile cars. We could go visit those. I could show you my quarter mile cars, what I used to do as a hobby, along with guns. But I want to name it something, maybe with Johnson in the name, something like that. And if y'all come up with a really cool name that's not already taken on YouTube, I could send you a pretty cool gift. So just something out there. If y'all want to check on some names and y'all come up with something super creative, throw it in the comments after this video is over. So the replay, you'll have to go back in and add those in there. And if it comes up with something really cool that, I was like, wow, okay, I like that. And you have your name on there, then I'll announce it and I'll give you something cool. So you don't have to put it in here. Just let me know afterwards, because all of these comments will go away. So that would be cool. And y'all could help name the next channel. Hey, what's up, Zeus? How are you, man? Good old Texas brother. Hadn't seen you in a while. I appreciate you jumping on here. Also, I've been talking to the boys, KS and 1776. We are trying to set up, just so y'all know, I'll go ahead and let it out of the bag. We're trying to set up for next Wednesday to have both those guys on. We are still friends. Everybody asks, do you still contact them? Are y'all still in contact? Trying to have a 3 guys gun chat reunion next week. So hopefully it can happen. KS is in. We don't know about 1776. He might have something going on. We're not sure yet. But as soon as I do, we will let you know. Yeah, Tradbo, that's right. I think I had like 6,000 or 7,000 subs when we met. Maybe even less. What's up, 500 Magnum? How are you, man? Let's see here. Let me catch back up. I was rambling a little bit. Shooting with Uncle Big Johnson is my vote. Yeah, I just don't want shooting, or like I said, this next channel or secondary channel that I'm thinking about doing will have nothing to do with guns. I'm going to keep that for this channel. Y'all all know I'll be carrying, but we'll just leave it at that. Good night, DC. I appreciate you, man. From Georgia. Cool, man. Been there many times. Been to Atlanta and all the surrounding areas. Hello, Trigger Bar. How are you? Bald and fabulous. There you go. I know. I thought I could start a makeup channel. It might take off really well. Who knows? You imagine seeing my big old ass in some makeup and a dress or some bullshit. I would never do that. I hope y'all know that. Trigger Bar says, hey, Big J, I was in your neck of the woods yesterday, but fortunately got out last night on one of the last flights out. Man, I would have loved to meet up with you. I know you and I had talked. That would have been awesome to meet up with you and shoot with you and, things like that. This weather just sucks, and I know you've dealt with it with your flying in and stuff. But next time you fly in, let me know ahead of time, and we'll make it a point to meet up. KS was never in prison. But no, they're both great guys. Like I said, we're real good friends. Rich B says I held a CZ P10F today with my big hands and long fingers. Just did not feel good getting to the trigger. Hard to describe, but didn't feel good the way my finger had to bend. Was disappointed. That's because it comes with the standard medium or small backstrap. When I run the large backstrap on all of mine, it actually does make a difference. Not really for your trigger reach, but where it pulls your palm up. So it kind of rounds the back a little bit. I wish it gave you more trigger reach. I could definitely use it, but I love my P10F. But I love the P10s. I mean, I've got 2 C's and 1 F. Oh, 68 dart with a 340. Yeah, hell yeah. Yep, I have been to Arizona many times too. Boats and hoes, slamming hoes and banging does. I had actually thought of, I was joking around, but like the boats and hoes. Yep, and I actually, Uncle Dan, that's one of them that I have written down. It's Carry On. There's a ton of other channels named Carry On, but I could add the Big J. So I get it. The Big Johnson Chronicles. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Now remember, any of these that you leave on here now, they will go away. So, please, if you got some good ideas, go on afterwards and write them down. Big Johnson Chronicles. I did want to kind of try to keep it shorter, if possible. But we will write that one down. Need to do a cooking show mixed with your travels to restaurants? Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. That's what we get here, Trigger Bar. We get ice. I know that you guys in Alaska, you got all that freaking snow, packed to the gills, but we get all that damn ice, and it does suck. Johnson Good Times, gas and barbecue. Yeah, that's cool. Well, they have this mixture crap. It's not just salt, but it's this kind of mixture shit that they dump on the roads. It sucks. Does and hoes, that's it. Yeah, I'm sure everybody'd love that. YouTube would probably ban me instantly. Ooh. 500 Magnum saying, Big J, what's your favorite gun? Mine is a double action, single action revolver and 1911s. Man, if I have to pick, and I've said this because I grew up with them, is 19/2011s. Always loved a 1911 trigger. Not fond of the back straps or the back, safeties, the grip safeties. Y'all know that I've always pinned them. Matter of fact, I only have one gun that actually has a grip safety, and it is the DS9. All the rest of them are pinned because that one hits at just the perfect spot. But with my hand size, most of them, I can't even shoot half of them because they just get screwed up. So, Big J or BJ Chronicles. Come on, Clyde. What does that sound like? We know it would be me. But if somebody saw the BJ Chronicles, what do you think they're going to think about? That's like when I first started YouTube. I don't know, some of y'all remember. My channel was just named Big Johnson. It was not Guns and Gear. It was just Big Johnson. And everybody would actually come on and say, I thought this was a corn channel. Just change the C. Everybody would ask. That has been my real nickname since I was like 11 years old because I was always really tall. And y'all don't know this, but if you ever saw my dad, he's like, I'm 6'3", and my dad is like 5'9". I mean, when I stand beside him, even when I was really young, everybody, when I was a little bitty kid, everybody called him Big Johnson and called me Little Johnson. Well, when I was like 11 or 12 years old, everybody started calling me Big Johnson and started calling him Little Johnson, and he didn't like it. My dad definitely has the little man syndrome. Love him to death, but he definitely has that syndrome. Oh, come on now, Rabbi. Yeah, exactly. You don't know how many times it was the postman, the milkman. Yep. You don't know how many times I've been told that. Now, we look a lot alike, but yeah, wheels and reels. Ooh, Floridian. I actually like that. Somebody might think reels are fishing, but reels would be videos, another name for a movie. So I like that. What's really funny is my dad has second cousins that are 6'7", 6'8", 6'6". Um, they were in another state, of course, but they think that's where it came from. My mother was a little bit taller than my dad. My parents, remarried, of course, when I was really young. But my biological mother she was like 5'7" or 5'8", something like that. Ooh, wow. Okay. Favorite rifle cartridge for the range, hunting, and self-defense. Man, that's a really great question, Trigger Bar. Here's what I'll say: it is not 5.56 or 2.23. Y'all all know that about me, or most of y'all do. Not saying that's a bad cartridge. It is just not my favorite. My favorite cartridge for the range is 308 300 Blackout. I do like 7.62 by 39 also. Um, and I mean, 22 is fun to shoot. Y'all know that I love shooting it. Hunting, definitely 300 Blackout or 308. I do prefer 308 more. And then for self-defense, it would be 300 Blackout or 308. Reason being, it depends on the animals that I am taking down. You know where I'm going with that. And it depends on, if I'm running a shorty or a long boy or whatever, or if I have to reach out and touch something. But definitely 300 Blackout, 308. I have some shorty 308s. I have some shorty 300s. But I'm definitely a 30 caliber fan. Now, what's funny on the 300 Blackout, everybody loves subs. I like shooting subs too. On 300 Blackout, I prefer supersonic for the velocity and for the damage. So, if you shoot a 300 Blackout, it's kind of like a pointed 45. Definitely the ballistics is better than a 45, but it's just as slow as a 45. But it is a rifle cartridge, of course. Johnson's Traveled, yeah, I've got that one, Clyde. But I am a huge 308 fan. Reason being, you can find it everywhere. I've got tons and tons and tons of it. You know, it will reach out as far as I need it to, and it's got some thump. Yep, Bald, you and I are the same height. And yes, I've met your son in person and your wife in person. Gosh, I didn't know your daughter was 6'1", but I knew your son was super tall. He was definitely taller than us when I met him. Yeah, Bald's got some tall people in his family. And I saw him when they climbed out of the car, and I was like, wow, they are tall. 6.5 Grendel. I've shot 6.5 Grendel. I've just never personally owned a 6.5 Grendel, but I have shot it. And 6.5 Grendel is not. It's not. There's nothing to joke about. Matter of fact, with the 6mm arc, or the 6 arc taken off, I think that's a really cool cartridge. It's just not right now. It's still kind of a boutique cartridge. It's just not as common. One thing that really does excite me is the 8.6 also. And if y'all know anything about some of the rifles I have, my Lancer L30 heavy metal, it is in 308. I did check with Lancer. I personally talked to them. I talked to one of their customer service people and one of their engineers, and I could simply do a barrel swap on my Lancer L30 heavy metal for the 308 and put an 8.6 barrel. They do not make one, but it will go right on, and I could run the 8.6 on my Lancer L30 heavy metal. So 8.6 is pretty cool, but it's just not going to be common either, and it's super expensive. And I still don't think it's ever going to be like 308. I mean, you're dealing with, you were dealing with NATO standards, so 308's not going away. And 300 blackout, is not going away. So yeah, 30-06 is not. It's not. I even have a couple of rifles. Y'all haven't seen them. I even have a couple of rifles in 30-06. Big J's Pit Stop. I like that one too, Floridian. That one's kind of cool. Write that one down. Yeah, and I think if you're not heavily invested in a 308, 6.5 is a great option. It's flatter, it's faster than a 308, more aerodynamic. We all know that. But man, that stopping power of that 308 and that thump, because I've shot 6.5 out to what did we do that day? 1,000 yards. I shot 6.5, like at 400 yards, 300 yards. Then I shot my 308 at the same distance on the same day, and you could definitely see that steel boom when that 308 would hit it compared to a 6.5. Now, of course, distance-wise, you're lobbing that 308 in where you're not on a 6.5. And you better be glad you got out of here, Trigger Bar, because we got freaking rain and it's sleeting and all that shit right now. I don't know if y'all can hear it outside, but that's what's going on. Yeah, and that's the thing, Trigger Bar. I would not buy a cheap barrel for that Lancer. That Lancer has a white oak barrel in it right now, and that thing it's a money barrel. It's like a Bartlett. If y'all have ever heard of Bartlett barrels, that white oak is a legit barrel. Thoughts on the pistol brace? We've talked about it before. I say do what you want to do, what you choose to do. I hope they have a stay quickly on this thing and shut it down because it's ridiculous. And one thing and I haven't heard anybody talk about this. I've talked to Uncle Dan about it, but think about it this way. What happens when you have a line? I'm talking a line of paraplegics, of veterans who have lost limbs or lost a hand and they need the pistol brace. What happens when you have them lined up to present their lawsuits? Yeah. And this is another thing I talked about. Y'all don't know this about me, but I have had arthritis since I was 30 years old. So I take Celebrex every single day or my hands will just knot up. I mean, sometimes shooting guns, after I shoot a whole bunch, 200 or 300 rounds sometimes, I mean, my hands are just like this. It just hurts to open them, or even rack a slide, just being honest. I don't tell everybody all my business, but, you don't think I could go and say, hey, Mr. Doctor, can you give me a letter saying that I could have what I want? I mean, shit's coming. Just wait. It's only gotten a little bit right now. More shit's coming. Yeah, Brian, it is. Yep. Yeah, Richard, I thought about on the road. I've got that one. I even have behind the wheel. I have around the wheel, but there's so many channels that have that already. I went through and all the names, I kind of started looking if other channels had it, and there's already a lot of these names used. So thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. Aaron's been around forever, man. I appreciate his You know, he was in the military also. I appreciate his service. Appreciate all of y'all's service if y'all were in the military. 500 Magnum, in your opinion, what is the best overall caliber considering power, cost, and availability? For 500, it's 44 Magnum. It has everything you want and nothing you don't. Okay, and that's a really cool caliber. For me, and probably most of the civilians out there, and I know I've got my Alaskan brothers out there who are big into 10 millimeter and stuff like that, but 9 millimeter. And the reason I say that, you can carry a lot of rounds, a lot of capacity. I am in a normal state, being in Texas, where we don't have all of our shit standard capacity because that's the way God intended it. But for me, 9 millimeter for self-defense, as we all know, it's about target placement, turning off that off switch. But 9 millimeter is perfectly fine with me. I have shot 10 millimeter. I have shot 40 plus P. I have shot 9 millimeter plus P plus. I've shot all of it. And for me, my preferred round is HST 124 non plus P. I don't need the extra pressure because over a period of time with plus P plus, it can damage a barrel over time, long time. And of course, I love 22. It's so damn fun to shoot. Yeah, and trigger bar, I agree with you. 44 will beat the shit out of your hands. And back, you know, I'm older, but back in the day, it was 357. You know, everybody was 357 this. I had tons of pistols that were 357. That was the rage back then. Now you just don't even hardly hear about it. I mean, you know, on revolvers you do, but the SIG 357, you just don't hear about it very much. Yeah, 500 mag, I've shot it. I've shot 500 Magnum, 460 Roland, and it's shootable, but man, it beats the dog shit out of you. It's just not something you'd want to go to the range and just have it just beat the shit out of you. But it is 8:07. Again, I really, really, really want to thank all of the family members on here. Y'all made the 20,000 subscribers happen. I didn't. I'm just putting up content that is honest, non-biased, non-really edited. I just stick a bunch of videos together, so you're seeing the good and the bad, and I appreciate y'all watching. I do have some videos in the queue. I'll let y'all pick which one I put out next. Basically, it's the MPA DS9 hybrid and carry. So it's both of those guns on one video, or the Taurus competition tandem cross that is completely tricked out. It is about a 15-minute video. We're just shooting and talking. And out of both of those videos, one of them have a little bit of trouble. So, and I will say on both of the videos, the guns are dirty. So let me know which one you want to see. The MPA video, 2011 video, or you want to see the Taurus TX22 competition video. So thanks, Uncle Dan. I appreciate it, brother. Oh, looks like the MPAs are winning. Richard has the MPA. Pistol Pete has the MPA. Trigger Bar wants to see them both. Thanks, Mike Kai. I appreciate you, brother. But thanks, Lake Ozark guy. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I love doing this chats with y'all. It is a lot of fun. I hope you like the setup, being a little different, you know, showing some bunch of the golf stuff. You know, I still have a lot of the long drive stuff. And of course, having a gun there is fun too. I'm not touching it, YouTube, before you throw me off. I haven't touched that thing on. And these are not guns. These are, you know, just a part, showing a part before YouTube freaks out. But thanks, everyone. Yeah, Tradbo saying the TX22. But so far, it looks like the MPA is winning. If y'all have a vote afterwards, leave a comment. But thanks, Floridian. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. Tune into Chris's chat. And we will do this again next Wednesday. Like I said, I'm going to try to get KS Gun Guy in 1776. Hopefully, they will both be in. I know no KS is in, but we're going to try to get all of them in. And we can have a 3 guys gun chat reunion. I think that would be a lot of fun. But Like, share, subscribe. Let's blow that 20,000 out of the water, and maybe we'll do something really big at 30,000. So appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Hit that thumbs up, like Aaron says. Crush that thumbs up. The mag holder, it is an Extra Carry, EXTRA carry.com. Y'all can go over and check him out. But I appreciate it so much. Y'all have a great night. Be safe out there. Love one another. And carry on, everyone. Take care.